It's a crazy sound, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
And all these bags, because you see these holes are getting bigger from the movement, so they move more. This one's here.
Yeah.
The plugging goes. So the back, see, so that clicks and starts clicking. And if they all are hitting the back, it is a wild sound.
Oh, that's crazy.
I forgot, let me see. Paul Logan! He's at number 1, but it's split with Tony. Tony Garcia.
There likes to be a lot of ties.
We're just talking about the fact that I was getting a massage, or actually FMR, you know, the fascia muscle release thing?
Yes.
In the office. Now, I'm never here when they do back classes, because I have a different time of teaching. And I hear this sound, it's a crazy sound. And I could not stop laughing, because I could not figure out what that sound was. The people were very annoying. I show you what one bag a sound can make. And then imagine this class being full. So every time when people hit the bag, right, it's going to go, you hear that sound, and then the whole class is full. We got 4, 8, 16. We got 20 bags. Yeah, that makes a lot of noise. So that was the thing.
Yes.
That was the thing. Oh yeah,
that would be funny.
So, what a great story that was.
That was a great one.
Yeah, now people are like riveting. It was. I'm so happy I tuned in on this Q&A. Such a smart one.
Good morning, Freddie.
Good morning.
Hi, Tisha. Hi, Todd.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, Paul. Sounds like shotguns. Paul says, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. But you know, and then the crazy thing is, if you don't know what it is, and it's all at the same time, you know, you really start thinking, because think about it, this is a sound that you have nowhere else.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't remember what I was thinking it was.
Funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's funny.
We survived it. That's what's all. That's what cares.
It was a gunshot where you like relax and you're like, oh,
no, I never had that. Karen had that. Okay, so we do a family picture. You know, we go out to the saloon, the little cowboy town. You know, here on the, I think it's a Las Virgenes. It's really cool. It's like a little tiny, like a cowboy western.
I think I know what it is, but yeah.
So we're gonna make pictures there. And I brought for fun to make people laugh. I had this thing where all these sounds on it. Like a fart and a laugh and everything, you know. So just because if you couldn't laugh because everybody's too serious, I just go with the thing, and then people start laughing and we smile on the picture, right? So most of the time when you see us smile on the picture as a family, that means because I have something with me that makes everybody laugh. Yep. Anyway, there was one of them that was a rocket. I pushed the button and my wife dove on the ground.
No, she
didn't. I swear to God. Oh my God. I went dying. She goes, oh no. She thought a freaking rocket came down. I go, are you serious? Poor lady. And you know what's worse? Me saying this on social media.
No, and I'm like, dude, was anyone recording that? Did anyone get that on
wish. You know, that was just before the time when all this TikTok and all that crap came out, you know. Vine, you remember all these videos?
Yes.
My daughter was is constantly messing with my wife. Yeah, she shot her and she videotapes it. She thinks it's hilarious. And my wife falls for it every single time. Me, I don't. You know, they can shock me. It's like, whatever, go, boo! And I go, oh, okay, whatever. But I already hear them coming. I'm on my guard. You know? And I know that if I move one muscle, then they keep doing it. But if I just go around, say whatever. Okay, questions. We're already, what are we in? 4 minutes in.
4 minutes in. All right. What's your thoughts on CBD cream versus oral CBD?
Oh, it's both good. You know, it's I love it. It relaxes the muscle. I just got a really good one. Actually, do you have pain by any chance?
Yeah, I'll have some in certain spots.
Okay, well, that's that one. Try that one out. Just put that on you.
Okay.
We see later the verdict if that is real or not. But yeah, so yes, I like it. Put it on, and especially this one has a cooling mint in there, and it kind of drops in there.
About that.
Yeah, and it's really like there was a big difference. Like, and also the next day when I woke up, it was still gone. So it did something to it, and I think that's what the CBD does. So yeah.
But I like the receptor cream. I think that does help.
Yeah, that's a nice one too. Yeah, very nice one too.
And then I also like I have this Tiger Balm that I got specifically when I was in Thailand, and I like that too.
Tiger Balm is always really good. Yeah.
Those are good too.
Yeah, I shall look up for that other brand when I have to see what that is.
Okay. Tony wants to know, what was your scariest fight or non-fight related story that happened in Japan during Pride or Pancreas?
Fight the scariest.
It can be related to fighting or not.
No, related to fighting was my very first fight because I put him in a coma for 2 days.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
That was really scary for me because he was such a nice guy before he came to introduce himself. Everything was good, and he was like 2 days. It was like, oh, it's not coma, but he couldn't talk. It was like, and that was scary. That's when because I was there for 2 more days, and I remember I used a lot of money at the time to buy phone cards. I was talking to my wife about it, and I said, if he's not going to come out, this is it. I don't want to do this crap anymore, This I don't want. I'm a fighter. I don't like to freaking hurt people or kill them or put them in a coma. No, hurting real bad when it's a bad person, I have absolutely no problem with.
Right.
But a regular person, like for instance, I fought a guy Metz who was a buddy of mine, and I got him in this new heel crank thing that I did, and it went too hard that I still feel bad about that. So we're not in the business for that. We all need to make a living.
Yes. Jason wants to know, how does teaching online compare, since we've been online for 7 weeks now?
I like it a lot, because I'm thinking already that after this, I will probably going to do it, but just once a week with a Q&A, where people go in depth, can become a member, so there's less people, and you can literally say, hey, I would like to work out on this, and, I'll make a strategy, where I say you want stance, hooks, straight punches, whatever, like categories. And then the person who gets the most category of all the people together who had that same category, we're going to focus on that. So people, just get a little bit more private instruction. Mm-hmm. And I've been enjoying it. Of course, I hope you have somebody at home who you can work with, because the body is always the best to have, in anything. But still, you can do a lot without. Look at me. My first year, I did pretty much on the back 2 times a day. I was working out on the back 12 rounds. That was it. I really didn't do a lot of ground wrestling, and not sparring either, because I was 2 times a day on the back. I would drop people with my left, my donk, and they would drop. But I go, I can't do that to my students because I had no sparring partners at the time. So I got to. So that was all visualization. And then suddenly I found one guy, and then it started going way better. But I did pretty okay the first year.
That's good. What is your favorite Dutch drill? Khalid wants to know.
My favorite Dutch drill. Understand that I left 23 years ago. So there is, all these drills. The drills that I do here, they're all my drills. I adapted that as well. It's like jiu-jitsu was there, and then there came the crazy, they made the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a different version of it. For them, a more effective way of doing it. And then Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then which is Russian sambo. Officially, it's just jiu-jitsu. It's just sambo. But because the Russian do lots of Russian sambo, and it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You see what I mean? So, and everybody has their own little things. And what was the question? I'm sorry, I showed away from it.
That's okay. What's your favorite Dutch drill?
Oh, the Dutch drill. See, okay, we'll go back to that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I came here and I just adapted everything. I had a more square stance and more drills. I liked a lot of the reloads. We never did. We did it, but not like we doing it right here. We do a lot, and just started taking over and on. I realized, because my grappling was so different than other people, because I taught myself, that it was effective. Because they simply couldn't. I wasn't following the rules. You see, and that I thought, wait a minute, if I have that in ground fighting, can't I create that in striking as well? It's just a little different approach. Make everything a power shot, left and right, and that's the wide stance. Easier to block low kick, easier to block kicks, easier to counter, easy to do everything. Everything becomes better, except you're a wider target. That's it. And that wider target, I've never been down to the body. All the guys that fight like this, and I always mention Mike Tyson fights like this. Chuck Liddell fights kind of like this, also open, very open. Also, Roman Deckers also, but he's still a little bladed. Also, never went down to the body. So, if it's that easy, I always say, why did we never go down to the body? But the powers you get for in return are just bizarre. It's way too much. So why wouldn't you do that? Go train some abs. That's what I tell people. Get used to getting hit in the gut.
People like your shirt.
Yeah, I like this. I like it a lot. Yeah, Josh gave to me a friend of mine, the boyfriend from Nita.
Oh, yeah.
Nita Strauss.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
Fat.
ow! Yeah, I like it because that's what's going on right now. You know, it's all judging people. I say, guys, let it go. You know, in the politics, left and right, we're so divided by each other. And everybody wants to have a voice. Trust me, your voice, my voice, her voice, we're not going to move the needle with our, you have to do this, you know. But everything is an attack, and you sit on the social media and you see a Republican website, somebody is posting something, a Republican post, and then boom, Democrats jump on and they start, woo! Guys, I mean, you go out of your way to look for posts from other people and start, I mean, look, and then you go to their Facebook and then you see they're consumed by anger. 90%. I go, guys, we'll let it go. In traffic, you know, and I'm talking left and right, both of them. I'm not saying anything bad about the left, no, right, everybody. And then on the street, everything is an attack to me. We are so full of ourselves. It's really it. And you know why? Because we all have a voice now. We can say something. And if you're right, you post something right, then all the right people, they help you. And if you're left, you post something left, all the people. And now you feel important. And all these people who never had anything, and then it starts consuming them, and it becomes more and more. And then they traffic that on in traffic. Somebody makes a mistake, they take it personal. He made a mistake. You see, stop being offended. It is so easy. But and look, if you have if you have a Facebook page and like 90% of it is dedicated to a certain thing, that is an addiction. Stop with that. Whatever that thing is, could be porn, could be anger, could be fighting, could be anything. Doesn't matter. It's an addiction. Get away from it. Relax. Get your extra time. Look at this life lesson you got from me right here. Yeah, but it is. I can't stand people like that. It's do something good.
Mm-hmm. Some questions that are related. Scott wants to know, what does it mean to be a fighter professionally, and where was the follow-up? And then Todd wants to know, what were the personal sacrifices of being a professional fighter? So what does it mean, and what are the personal, like not injury-wise, but what were the personal sacrifices? And what does it mean? What does it mean
first? Let's go first what it means. I don't know. I think it's a whole package. I think, you need to be a good fighter. You need to show that as a role model outside. And listen, I've been a crazy guy, right? And like my drinking and partying, not a real good role model. But you know what? I never attacked somebody personally. I never started attacking people online. I never started, that I never did. And sure, I'm crazy. But all the craziness that I did, pretty much I did that to myself. Drinking, drugs, all the stupid stuff. That's, it's just the truth. So, but you need to behave yourself. I wish that I would have 20 years known what I know now. I don't use profanity anymore. And all these things I calmed down because I realized there's students, there's kids, there's parents, I don't like it if my kids are somewhere. My daughter puts the music radio on and it's effing this on the rap. She knows. She shoots and hurts her first F-bomb and 2 in 1 sentence, turn it off. If it happens once, three times in a song, I don't care. But every sentence, you really need to do that in order to feel important, you see. So as a fighter, you want to be the best fighter, you want to be an example because you are going to inspire a lot of kids out there and then hopefully they can do what you do. That is your gift to life. Whatever you receive as a gift, you have to give as a gift. And my gift is fighting and I would like to pass that on to people. And if I with that can also pass on a good personality, man, that Bas Rutten, he was a nice guy. If they say that when I pass away, I'm going to be a happy dude. All of a sudden, I'm there to help people, good. That's what I want. And the consequences or the things that you cannot do is a lot, because it's a profession. And you chose a weird profession. So that means now suddenly if you have to fight on December 31st, well, and you have a family, too bad. Christmas is going to be much tougher because you're going to have to work out. And you can't eat what they eat, and you can't do certain holidays. You can't drink whatever they want to drink. All that's what you would love to drink. I mean, so that's your choice, and sometimes you have to live with the choice. And I was a commentator for Pride Fighting Championships. The first 7 years, I didn't celebrate one Christmas and New Year's with my wife. Because Pride Fighting Championships, we had a show before, like the 25th, and then on the 31st, we had to, Boombaye, another show. So we will be there for like 10 days. It's a sacrifice. I was in Holland. I didn't see my daughter was born. I wasn't there for her. That's a sacrifice. I had to leave. I had no more money. I was living paycheck to paycheck here in America in the beginning. And I had to go there. And I asked the doctor, I said, when do you think? She said, it's at least 3 weeks. I said, well, this weekend I can go? Yeah, for sure, you're going to be okay. Of course, that weekend she came. Again, sacrifice. But then you also make it sacrifice it the other way. Like my wife was almost passed away together with my baby, with my oldest daughter here, Sabine. That's the middle daughter. I have an older one in Holland. Because she had the HELP syndrome, which is it's a poisoning, and she could lose the baby, and we could lose her. So, and I had to defend my title, you see. So then I said, that was the moment I said, I'm not going to sacrifice the family. I'm not going to go fight. So I said, okay, I actually gave my title away. Because somehow they said at the beginning, they came back from that, the people won't understand that if you stay with the family. I said, really? I said, well, the people who don't understand it, they go, and I put my other fingers up, but that's what I don't do anymore. You see? So,
oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you have to make a choice sometimes. So I said, keep your title. I'll get it back anyway if I want it. Right. That's how confident I was at the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to think about it. And Scott also wants to know who inspires you.
People who do good, like all the people on the front line right now, in the hospitals, people like that, the military, the firefighters, everybody, people who work at ponds, who don't get paid, and they're helping all these animals coming in. Now, most of the time, service jobs, that's it. And a lot of people do it without money. People who build churches and who build houses in countries where they don't have to irrigate water and give them culture and farming. You see, that is cool stuff. That is something I was always hoping that I was going to be a millionaire, a little earlier. So I hope I still can get it, because once I am, that's the stuff I would love to do. I would say, hey, let's stop everything else. Maybe do a few fun shows, Karate Combat. I really like that show as a commentator. Just hold one thing that you do, but in between, start doing that. Start traveling, start seeing if you can do something with my voice. I can still touch a small amount of people, the martial artists. But there's some people out there, and then hopefully we can make them do something good.
Yeah, that was interesting. Scott wanted to know what inspired me too, and it's interesting because it made me think. Last night he posted the question to me, and some of my stuff was similar. When I go travel and I see people in countries that don't, they don't have iPhones, they have hardly anything, but they're happy.
So happy, yeah.
They're so happy.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like sometimes it's like, wow, it would be nice to simplify more. Like we all have so much stuff, way more stuff than we need. And so that's cool. And then another one that was big to me with animals when I worked when I was working as a veterinarian at the wildlife center here locally. That full-time wildlife vet, dude, he with his dedication. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Dwayne Tom is his name. He would just be there because wildlife would come in anytime, and there's really no money in wildlife. Like, who's going to pay for wildlife?
Yeah.
So he would just be there from morning till night. And it was just amazing. I mean, wildlife it's so important.
That's his mission. It's everything. And we idiots, we don't see all that stuff. It's still, and no social media. How many times do you take a cruise? Did you do a cruise with them? Mm-hmm. On the cruise, I don't let my cats get the Wi-Fi package.
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't actually.
And that is 7-8 days. Oh, no social media, man! You get on board somewhere in Mexico, you check your messages a few, boom, you're done again. How badass is that? All these people I was talking about who were angry, they wouldn't be angry if there was no social media. And their lives would be much better. Less people would die from stress.
Yeah, it's crazy because the difference is like this community is so precious to me now. Like what we've been able to connect with people around the world. I think that is freaking awesome. So when it's used for things like this, it's so great. But when it's used for the cyberbullying and like that, it's so extreme.
Yeah, no, it is.
That's like
what people are. Like I said, everybody has a voice, and we're all proud. We all think we're so special that we need to be heard. Well, if I say all, I say 70% of the people, me included. No, I'm not excluding myself. We all have that a little. Some people have a lot. Some people have less. Yeah. Every day I tell myself, don't go in discussion. Don't go in discussion. And literally, that's what I tell myself in the morning. My mother says something bad about somebody, whatever. I'm not going to go in this. Because you know why? It's not going to make a difference. I can say whatever I want to say, or scream and get angry about. It will not make a difference. I have another cousin who's always, and I want him to do and want to, but it doesn't make a difference anyway. So why would you do it? It consumes.
Yes. Do you have advice for Tommy who has had shin lumps for over a year?
Oh, there's like shin splints, I guess.
I'm thinking that's probably like shin splints or calcifications maybe. Tommy, clarify that for me if you can.
Yeah, stop from England.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So stretching it. I had it sitting on your knees and keep your feet flat on the ground, so not on the balls of your feet, and then start leaning backward and stretching your calves, your shins, but very super gentle, man. I mean, that's a hard one. That's what I did, and I just lay there for a while, to stretch everything, and then hopefully, I stay away from running in the beginning now, because running will intensify it. So that's maybe the best advice. Don't run.
Okay.
And if you go on a bike, I will bike with you, putting it on your heels.
Okay.
So those are the balls of your feet.
Interesting. What's a better shot, a liver or a spleen? Is there a difference?
Yeah, the liver hurts more, but the spleen is still very effective. Yeah. So, but the liver is the target. The liver is also a much larger target. It's all the way here and covers almost over the solar plexus. It's the largest organ in the body. I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, like 4 pounds or something.
It's big.
Yeah, so that's what I saw last time in our class. When you give somebody a liver shot, after that you can pretty much kick him, punch him everywhere because it's so big. Solar plexus, lower in the belly, everything is going to be very sensitive at that moment. Actually, the fight against Jason DeLucia, that's where I'm saying this while I'm doing it, because now I know wherever I go to kick to the body, he's going to feel it. But it started with a liver shot. And
then Norman asked, following up on that, he heard that you timed your liver shots with your opponent's breathing. Is that true? Yeah, but that's only one time happened. And it was pure necessity, and I'm very proud that I did it, and I reacted fast. But that was... I talked about this before. I was a kickboxer in Holland. My skills were really great, just not under pressure. Under pressure, I just mauled my opponents, just knocked them out. I wasn't thinking, I was just blasting through my opponents. So I'm a great striker now. I understand a good striker. Great is like next level, that's the K1 guys. But not like I am now. Just so. And what was? Ask me, tell me, because I had to pick up for that. Did you time your liver shots with your opponent's breathing? Yeah. So what happened suddenly in Japan when I started fighting in Japan? The first fight, I was like, "What the heck?" I saw myself afterwards on video, and I have no facial emotions because in kickboxing, I was screaming, I was, kill. And now I was completely in the zone. And right away in the second fight, I was so in the zone. Who would think of that? That I go, I don't have a lot of power anymore. I felt really sick. I had to let me travel 8 hours on the day of the fight. I slept an hour. I mean, because I came from Holland, nighttime is daytime. I fell asleep at 6, 7 o'clock. They make me up. 8 hour train, cars, taxi, train, boom, Shinkansen, whatever. And so I was pure necessity. And then I had him, and I pulled his arm to the side, and I saw him breathing. 1, 2, and right away when I saw him breathing in, I gave him the knee, hoping that it would work, and it worked. So now I could add that to my repertoire. That was pretty cool. I haven't done it later in the fights. Really weird. I should have done that. I developed a really cool technique for it on the ground. This is really cool what you can do on the ground. So imagine a person lays here, and here's the face, right? Now you go lay over them. So it's a weird move, but the head is behind your arm, right? There's the head. And I'm just laying, let me see if I can lay like here. Mm-hmm. And then if the body is here, you start doing this. Tuk, tuk, tuk. You give them a pattern. But they don't see you load up. But their mind automatically start flex, because the punch is going to come, right? Because you go, dum, 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 pop! And then the second, suddenly you hit the one hard. That hard one, that's when they're breathing in. And at that moment, they're going to go down. And especially if you go below the solar plexus first. But look at the solar plexus here. You start hitting here. Boom, boom. Just like that. He starts flexing, boom. And then you suddenly hit the solar plexus. Try that out. It will work like a charm in training, but give it a pattern. Let them get used to the pattern. Once you feel they start flexing, they're right. And then that's why I don't go too fast, because to catch in between that punch, it's not going to work. Give them 1, 2, because then you go 3, boom. You see, then you can't do it. Otherwise, if you go too fast, you can't do it. True. So Tommy said, so back to the shin lump. It was a big lump after a shin check, and then it's kind of spread out.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that's going to take time, man. Time. And what you can do, very gentle, is massage it out. And again, I will put a CBD cream on there because that helps with the inflammation. That's what you need to get out of there. Yeah. Now that's going to take a while. That's a nightmare. That's what I always tell people, that if they try to toughen their shins, once they get that, now you're going to have to wait maybe 2 weeks. You know, and every time you re-injure it, every time you kick it back. So yeah, very gentle start massaging it out. Gentle.
Okay, I think he said that. I think he says it's been over a year, right, Tommy? So it's probably
toughen it up, that dude. Just start kicking with it, see if you can kill the nerves. If it's over a year, no, for real. I will do that for real. I mean, if it will keep bothering me, I say, okay, I'll learn to live with it. Whatever. Now I'm going to just attack it with pain. Whatever, because you will. If it's already a year and it doesn't go away, you know, it's either because you kept on training. So what you can do is either stop completely with that for 3 weeks. And then when it's healed, you start again. And you know what the good thing about this is? They told me this in Japan. This is really cool. So imagine I hurt my hand, right? And I couldn't train, I couldn't hit my left hand. You know what Funaki told me? Funaki Mazakatsu, my opponent, you know, that I'm a big fight at. He said, Bas, don't worry about it. It's God telling you that your left hand is strong enough. Let's focus on all the other things right now.
Oh, nice.
You see? So maybe it's God telling you your kicks are better than your hands. Focus on your hands. And then you start focusing on your hands. Put the focus on your hands. Leave the leg alone. And maybe it's your right leg. That means your left leg needs to be stronger. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So always think like that, because then you keep it happy.
Yeah.
And then you can work on better technique. Yeah. But leave that leg alone.
So focusing on the positive instead of the negative.
Yeah. Not even check low kicks.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Vincent wants to know, why is Tony Ferguson so successful with his style?
Because he is a conditioning animal. You know, I'm talking to the people all the time. You know, this is with my O2 trainer again. We say, this increases at least 15, 20%. That's a lot in a fight. It drives me crazy that other fighters are not doing it. I would do this thing 2 times a day. If they say 2, probably 3 times a day. If I was competing still. Because stamina, well, Tony Ferguson shows you what you can do when you have stamina. Everybody buckles. The only way to beat a Tony Ferguson is in the first 2.5, 3 rounds. But you're going to have to turn it up. And can you keep the pace with him? Because then once you go slower, that's it. He's just going to overcome you. You know, every fighter like Anthony Pettis, look at him. He's the fast twitch fibers. I have that too. That means your explosive muscles, but they burn you need a lot of oxygen. You know, so if somebody pushes a person who's very explosive, that's a problem. Like Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping is like the diesel. That's a slow twitch fibers. Doesn't mean he's not slow. And Michael actually, because normally these guys, they don't knock people out. Michael knocked a lot of guys out, right? But he can keep going. Has a resting heart rate like 33, 34. I mean, see, you'll never see that with a person with fast twitch fibers. So, if you're a person with slow twitch fibers and you fight a guy with fast twitch fibers, push, you'll break him. You know, thankfully, never somebody did that to me, because that would have been a problem, you know. And the great thing in mixed martial arts is, though, that you can clinch. You know, you can lay and take a breather here and there. You know, and just boxing or kickboxing, if they turn it up, well, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm. So. Okay, I know you wrote part of the answer in the feed yesterday. Paul asked about the remake of Smashing Machine and any contact with Mark Kerr, and Sergio also wants to know what happened with Mark Kerr.
Mark Kerr, I believe, is a car salesman now. That's what I truly believe. He's doing good. He looks healthy. You know, he's off all the crap. He's got a great son, so that is good. I know Tanawai. Tanawai is the cousin from The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And he's a buddy of mine. But he's the cousin, not only, he's also the stunt double. And once Dwayne Johnson said that at the UFC, that he was going to play Mark Kerr, I went out a text and said, hey, listen, just throwing it out there, with a little CJIE can make me younger, but I would love to play myself, you know, in this. So he said, of course, he was going to let him know, and I would just pray that they say, hey, actually, that would be a cool idea to have the real guy in there.
That's cool. That would be really cool.
Need a little Botox, need a little everything. I need the camera straight on me so I don't have so many wrinkles. For the rest, I'm looking pretty good still. Physically, I'm good.
Yes, exactly. Totally, that's awesome. Maybe you can answer the next one in your Scarface impression.
Oh, the guy from Sweden.
You told Steven you would do that.
Oh, The thing is, I don't swear anymore, so that's a very hard thing to do.
Oh, right. Okay, so you just go bleep.
Okay, Frank.
What's
So what? Tell me what to do, what to think. What did he say? He says, like a chihuahua, I'm going to tell you what to do and the thing. I'm going to like a sheep. Oh, yeah, it's so hard not to swear. But I tell you what to.
Okay, here.
That's it.
Answer this question in your Scarface voice. What's your favorite martial art?
Okay, man. Just let me figure this out, okay? I just think the mixed martial arts right now is, I would say, if I go slower in volume, lower in volume, it doesn't go as well. So, but that's about it. I need to go hard. When I would in the past, when I would party and drinking, and then my voice screaming, and then my voice is raspy, you almost could tell the difference. Now that was spot on. Right now, it's not as well as before, I think. Yeah.
Thomas wants to know if it's too late to become a fighter at age 29.
No. Okay. So I was 28 when I started Pancras. I only had striking experience. Now I understand you maybe had zero martial art experience. It's not too late. We have Jens Grau, a guy here in the gym, who's a close friend of us as well, from Denmark, and he lives here. And he came in at my place at the other gym where I was. We were across the street, like a 2,000 square feet. This is 15. We're much better now. And he wanted to train. He was a power lifter, 250 pounds he was, and he's shorter than me. So I go, okay, yeah, I can do that, but you're gonna have to lose all that. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're way overweight. It's gonna work against you when you're fighting. 38 years old. I think it's 12 fights now at 205. Yeah, and I believe he won 9. So he did good. And that was at 38 he started. So your power years are gonna be, mine were from, let's say, 32 to 35. That's where I was bizarre strong. For me. That's when I did the 910 pull-ups, like I'd always show off at the subway with the fighters. I was just, that was at that time. And the great thing about that is also that age is that I was a 28-year-old kid. I always been crazy. Once you became past 32, I started calming down. And then, you start still crazy, but you can order, and it's better for fighting. It's better for everything. You start training smarter. Everything becomes better. So yeah, age is just a number for real.
Do you know who the oldest fighter is now?
I would say Dan Severn, right? I mean, the oldest active. He's probably still fighting. This guy's such a maniac. He has to be over 60 now, at least. I mean, that guy is unbelievable. And the amount of fights he had, very impressive, man. Dan Severn, what a man.
That's awesome. How did you, 2-part question, when you were fighting, did you ever get dizzy / nauseous? And so how did you calm your nerves, and how also did you keep your mind calm versus being angry?
Everything is calm. Calm beats aggression 9 out of 10 times, 100%. Aggression just can have a lucky shot one time here and there, but otherwise you just cool them if you stay calm.
How'd you make yourself stay calm?
I'm really good at self-talking. And the thing is, with self-talk, you can only talk the truth to yourself. And once you only can tell the truth, you're going to realize you break mixed martial arts down. What are you scared of? You're going to find out that you're scared to fail in front of the people. Because you don't give a crap about it if it happens to you. You know how I do this with my students? I tell them, okay, they're nervous, like a week before or 2 weeks before, that happens. I say, okay, let me visualize this for you. Imagine we would have a room in this building with no windows, no nothing, one door in. And your opponent would walk in right now, you go both in the room, you close the door, lock the door. Nobody could. You fight. And once you leave that door, would you're not allowed to say who won the fight. Would you care if you would lose? And they all say no. And I said, that means that you're fighting not for yourself, you're fighting for other people. You're fighting for the respect of other people, what they think of you. And once you start fighting like that, you put a lot of baggage on your shoulders. That's why, and I talked about this before, I always said, I fight for me. And then they look at you like you're the worst person, egomaniac there is. I said, no. Because if I fight for me and I don't give a crap about what everybody's going to say, I will fight my best. And if I'll fight my best, and not for my family, but for my best, then I'm going to win. And because I win, I get more money, which automatically is better for my family, you see? But there is a moment that you have to put yourself at the number 1 spot. But don't only do it with fighting, right? Don't do it outside of fighting because then, you're an egomaniac. But you can have a chip on your shoulder as a fighter. I think it's a very good thing to have. It's like asking me, you going to fight or what? John Jones, you going to win? Yeah. Everybody go, you going to win? Yeah, I will always say yes. It's going to be freaking tough, and he might beat me, but in my mind, I'm not going to go into a fight saying that I might lose, right? I think every fighter wants to do the same thing. Because, it's going to be a tough fight, but I'm going to win. That's what you should say. It's not an ego thing to say. It's just a stupid thing to say if you don't. Because that means you're already doubting yourself.
Right. True.
Sorry, one more time.
Yeah,
what can go down in MMA? What can go wrong? Nothing. You get knocked out. Apparently, you're not feeling that. You just wake up. That's what everybody said. Hey, what happened? That's every guy that I had to get knocked out. What happened? Armbar. If you get an armbar, you can tap. If you don't tap, they might snap your arm. Your fault, right? If you get choked out, there's a referee who's going to stop the fight. If you get hit, there's a referee to stop the fight. So what are you afraid of? All these guys say, I'd rather die in the cage. Well, not me, dude, first of all. And if it would be that dangerous, I would never fight. I have a family that I love more than fighting. That's number one, and the rest is number two. See, so nothing can happen. Only fear what other people say about you. Forget how these people, they're not fighting. They don't have the balls. They're right about it, but don't let them come in training.
Yeah.
And training is not fighting, by the way. It's far removed. Yeah, I was a really good Thai boxer. Just taste of that. In my fights, I was completely crazy. Blank, just go for the town. I was really good in the gym.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. So there was a question. I'm sorry I didn't write down the name. Following up on that, is it better to respect your opponent versus just having rage?
100%. I had on my last fight, I will not say who it is, but somebody really helped me out. And he came with me and he was in my corner. And he says, hey, come on, just before the fight, he takes me out of the place. And he says, hey, boss, this guy tries to steal money from you, the food money from you. And I go, stop right now. He goes, what? I said, don't talk like that. So what do you mean? I said, I don't want to get angry. I don't need this talk. I understand it. I thank you very much for it, but I don't need it. I'm not that guy. I want to be total relaxation because then everything works optimum for me. Once I get angry, you're not going to punch from here. Boom. You're going to do this. You're going to load up. And a load up against another pro is not a good thing to do. So that anger will do to you. Now, control anger is a different game. Like when I fought Funaki, and I said, I'm going to kill this guy now. When he did this thing in front of my face, my manager right away goes like, relax. I said, don't worry. I'll wait. But once I have the chance, I will go to town. And then I give you another example to see how you fight. Go to my fight on my YouTube page. It's all free. So go there. It's against Kendo Watanabe. It's my last fight in Pancras. I was very angry in that fight. See how I fight. I look like a freaking idiot. I'm ashamed when I watch that match. Yeah, I knocked him out, but that was me back in Thai boxing. I mean, stupid, no control, so angry because I found out the day before. They told me it was going to be okay because a month later I had to fight Couture. That was set up. That didn't happen, but it was set up at the time. And I said, no, I don't want to fight because I got a UFC fight coming up. And he goes, no, please, we'll make sure the opponent is not too tough. And I said, you know what, I'll do it for you to help you guys out. We'll take him down, we'll submit him. And the day before, Guy Metzger tells me they've been training this guy for years to fight you, or for whatever, a long time. And there's actually a comic about that. I have that comic at home, where he comes in, when I beat Funaki, and then he comes into training, and Funaki starts training him. And I thought it was such a low blow, and I was so angry in the fight to say, you know what, I don't care anymore if my hands get hurt, I'm going to knock him out now. But if you watch that fight, you'll see what anger does to a person.
So how did that switch? How did you switch that?
Oh, well, that was the only time I was not in control. It was just, I took it personal. And once you start taking things personal, this is again this shirt. True. It's not personal.
But you also said in your Thai fights you were more.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't in the Thai fight. It was just anger. It's uncontrolled. But that's what anger does. Anger clouds the mind. Anger does everything wrong. There should be 3, maximum 4 instances in your entire life when you're angry. The most, officially 1 or 2, maybe. That only happens when somebody attacks your friends or family and where you can literally use anger. Like for me, I don't lose control anger. I did last time. Last time I broke my hand.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
That was me hitting it. Oh, you were there?
Yes.
I was so angry because it was a 12-hour, 13-hour, 14-hour shoot. I was getting aggravated 4 hours before. I should have said something, but I wanted to get it out. And suddenly I take my glove off, idiot, and suddenly hit the table. And of course I break my head. That I will be sick in my stomach for a week. I cannot believe that I would lose control like that.
Yeah. Because
that never happens with me. I can't stand it because I was out of control. Anything that would happen right after that moment, somebody would say something, I'm completely out of control. You see? So it's bad. I mentioned last week with the riding on the street with the guy who was double flip me off. And I was meditation, doing prayers to relax, and almost drove him off the road. And I go, dude, what are you doing? See? That was another one. See, so but that was the first one that came after that one. So that's like a year and a half ago or a year ago. And so every once a year I have something and then I just shoot. And trust me, I'm working on it. Because if you have that in the fight, well, you see when you see me fight Thai boxing, you will see it, and you will see it when you see the fight against Kengo Watanabe. Keep hanging away, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you defend a Superman punch?
Moving out of the way, out of the range, or closing the distance. So because he's in the air, suddenly you bring the target here. See, there's no power in the punch. So it's either you close the distance or you move out of the way. Now talk about that. You know what I really like? It's kind of a Superman punch. Anthony Pettis. I love that guy because he's using. He's every time different. What he did against Waterboy, right? Mm-hmm. Stephen Thompson. He was pushing off the fence, and he didn't make a normal. He made an overhand right, like almost the right hook, and he jumped up, and everybody shoots. Here comes the punch, and he looked around. And he did it different. And because he did it different, because Stephen Waterboy Thompson, he's a freak. He can see pretty much everything coming, but nobody ever did that to him. And when it's the first time, you're going to fall for it. He pushed off and made it a hook. Think about that. Who thinks about that? Well, he did, or his coach did, and they were very effective with it. So stuff like that, I love. By the way, if you want to go into MMA, you know, we have the Tao of MMA. But the way to do it, I mean, okay, let me see, so I can say because
someone that is a question.
It's a question, yeah.
23-year-old wants to start MMA.
So taoofmma.com. Go to that website. What we did all together with Dwayne Ludwig and TJ Dillashaw, everybody's in there, you know. Alberto Crane, Sam Coots is in there, and Trevor Whitman. I cannot forget him. He's a really great striker. He's a striker from Just Engaging. So, striking coach. And what Dwayne did, he went to Fightnomics, and they found out what are the top 5 submissions, top 5 punches, top 5 strikes, top 5 everything, takedowns, of mixed martial arts. And we all worked on that. So the most common attacks and the most finishes, all of that stuff, we worked them from different angles. It's really cool. We got coaches who are specialized in those certain aspects. We do a lot of talking about also what to expect before a fight. Well, we talked about how to calm your nerves, so we did on this here now. There's a lot of stuff like that in there as well. What to eat, how to eat, what to watch out for. So it's a complete thing, yeah. The taoofmma.com, T-A-O.
That's cool.
It's the way of, it means Tao.
And it's not, you just type it into the internet.
That's it,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And T-A-O, the way of, it automatically also means the art of, you see? So, but it's also the way of Tao. Okay. Tao of Jeet Kune Do. The way of Jeet Kune Do from Bruce Lee. What's up?
Awesome. Where'd you get your t-shirt?
Yeah, I gotta go, I gotta see where I,
okay, maybe you can put a link later.
I'll put a link. Yeah, I gotta pick a link.
Okay. Bishop wants to know, what was your most painful injury? At the moment when I felt in the ring was when I got knee barred by Ken Shamrock. I felt that, and the next 2-3 days it was very painful going on the plane and going down, because needless to say, afterwards I've been drinking and a knee blew up. I don't know which knee it was anymore, but it hyperextended, and that was very painful. I felt that. Yeah, that would hurt. Michael wants to know, how did you feel about? I kind of archaically wrote the question: cutting before fights. What was your cutting prep? And then also someone else asked, what was your favorite meal after you would weigh in?
Okay, so yeah, both of them, they don't apply to me because I was open weight champion. in Japan. There was no weight classes.
Yep.
You know, I found that out on the day of the fight. It's funny. You know, when my opponent suddenly is 35 pounds heavier, and you're used to like 5 pound differences, that's a big one. You know, and then finding out one round of 30 minutes, I go, holy crap, what am I doing? So yeah, I never had to cut weight. The only time I had to cut weight, actually, gain weight, was when I went to the UFC. I had to be over 200 pounds, and I was 197. I came from Colorado. I was dehydrated, of course, because of the altitude, which I didn't realize at the time, which affected my muscles as well. So we talked about it last week, I believe, as well. So I had to gain weight in order to make it a title fight. So I drank a whole bunch of water for my friends, and then I made 203. I remember that. So and to my students, I say don't cut too much. I like to, you're beating your body twice a day already. Why would you deprive it from water, which is the most important ingredient next to oxygen? It's oxygen. Oh no, it's oxygen, water, food. Those are the three main ones. Oxygen 3 minutes without, water 3 days without, food 3 weeks without. Average person. So water is important, and if you take that away, you take away the fluids in the brain too. Now they don't have the air bag or the water bag anymore, whatever you want to call it. It's very dangerous. Keep your body happy, guys. Are you really so insecure that you think that because the guy was 6 pounds heavier, that's why he won? Are you seriously thinking about 6 pounds? Come on now, right? Makes no sense to me. You're stronger if you keep your own weight. Much stronger. You keep endurance, you get everything. And especially now when they cut out the IV bags.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
That's crazy. I think that's crazy too. We did talk about that last week too. Can you give a shout out to Coach Eddie at Catalyst MMA in Everett, Washington?
Coach Eddie! What's up? And what was it called? MMA?
It's Catalyst MMA in Everett, Washington.
Catalyst MMA in Everett, Washington. Whoop, whoop.
What are your thoughts on UFC 249?
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be in this new thing. I'm going to be judging tonight. Not at the UFC, but on a special website. We tried it out on Monday with 4 professional fighters. I was talking about this, right? Already?
A little bit during the week.
Yeah, it was a split decision, actually. So it's going to be fun. To see, because you would think if professional fighters are judging a fight, we all are on the same page, but we weren't. That was the second fight, Diaz versus McGregor, we were posting. I had it McGregor, and they had it Diaz, 2-2. Trick and I had. So tonight we're going to do it again. It's not for public yet, and if it's going to be successful, and we had to close every time to the judges to the real score, then this is maybe in the future a way to get the judging under control, because sometimes it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think you take a lot away from a fighter if he loses. There's less pay the next time. I mean, there's a lot of things that is worse for your sponsors. It's worse for everything, actually. So, that we wanted to make, and listen, we can make a mistake, but at least we've been there, and we try not to do it. I'm there for the guys. So.
Yeah. Was it fun?
It was a lot of fun, yeah. It was fun because you overthink it, when it goes to a 10-8 round and a 10-9. For instance, punches, you drop somebody, falls on the ground, he gets up right away. They say, oh, there was no damage. That was big damage. If he fell because you hit him in the head, that means the brain stopped for a moment. You can't see it, but that's damage, right? So that's why when that happened 3 or 4 times in the first round with Diaz, I didn't. In my mind, I thought this could be a 10-8 round. Sure, he kept on fighting, and it was not so. But he rattled his brain 4 times, so that's a hard one. I still did 10-9, which was what the other judges did as well. So apparently it was good. So now, if he would have been dazed 2 of the times, I would have given it a 10-8 round for sure. Yeah, but you see, for me, I'm figuring exact those things out as well. It's really cool. On Thursday, I'm on a phone call with the Athletic Commission, and they go over fights. That's what I did yesterday, 2 days ago, for 2 hours. And you see what the Athletic Commissioners do. I mean, with Andy Foster, he's there on a call with like 15 people, all judges, and they do that pretty much. They try to do this every week. They update. So don't think that these guys are just handing out systems. It was an eye-opener to me to see so many people on the call, on the Zoom call. Everybody can talk via video. It was really cool. And then we watched some fights and how we would judge that. So
that's cool. That would be fun. What are your thoughts on Aikido and Wing Chun?
It's great, beautiful martial arts, and there's always things in that work in real fighting as well. Just as solely Wing Chun and fighting will not work in mixed martial arts. Solely Aikido will not work in mixed martial arts. They fight a different way. If you're used to a chain punch and you're fighting a boxer now, that's a whole different ballgame. So, is it effective? Yes, certainly it is very effective. But for real fighting, it is simple Thai boxing rule. Now, if you say that's not true, what you should do is, like, especially say you're a Wing Chun guy, and you say Wing Chun can beat everybody, well, you should come to the UFC. Because look what it did to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It made it huge. So you can make a killing in money if you go to the UFC, start beating people, and that with solely Wing Chun. That it will be really great for your sport. And now people go like, yeah, but Lyoto Machida, he's a karate guy. Yeah, but he did sumo wrestling. He wrestled as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Come on, guys. I'm saying solely karate is not going to work. Punches, chance, that's it. Hits the ground, you're over. Solely grappling is not going to work. You see, so there's all these things. Mixed martial arts, that's why it's called mixed martial arts. It's all those arts that you just talked about in one. Aikido, we don't attack like that. You need to grab my hand in order to do something with it. So now in front of you, I go there, boom, grab it. Grab the hand. You can't. I'm hitting you in the face. There's no way you're going to grab my hand and then throw me. See? So, but they're really cool moves once they have contact. So there's a lot of stuff that you can use in mixed martial arts, but solely it won't work. Solely boxing won't work. Solely kickboxing won't work. So, sure, you might get lucky, but eventually you lose to the guy who knows it all.
Got it. What is Dan Severn doing?
I don't know what Dan is doing, but I'm a big admirer from Dan. I love that guy. He's such an animal. he fought. I'm just going to Google while I'm talking because I want to see if he's still fighting. I would not be surprised, and I would like to know what his age is. Maybe if it's too old, I won't say anything. Well, 58. He's born in 58. So what is it, 62 then? Am I wrong or not? 61. Oh yeah, in June. So in June he will be 62.
Oh, okay.
Now look at this record. 127 matches. 101 wins. Think about that.
Wow.
And let me see if I go to his mixed martial arts record. I can see the last fight. The last fight from him was in 2012. Okay, 8 years ago when he was 55 probably. So that's Dan Severn for you. That guy. I love that guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anthony, Bas talked a lot about lifting weights. He did some stuff actually on a cable machine last week too. So look at last week's and the weeks before. He talked about strength training quite a bit. Reggie, his favorite book is The Alchemist.
She got it.
We have some of the questions we have had in the past weeks, which is why I'm skipping over them. Diesel really has asked, he's been very persistent. He's 36 years old from Holland. He wants to know if you'll be in his music video.
Oh, it depends. If I have to come to Holland, that's going to be a hard thing to schedule.
I think that's a really cute.
Yeah.
That's a really cute question. I like it.
Sometimes, yeah. They want to invite me. I had 4 neck surgeries, a lot of neck problems, everything. And I'm not even, if they say, hey, if there's no business class, give me at least economy plus on a trip like that. That's what I always say. I'm not the high guy who needs first class and all that stuff. No. But, think about it. 4 neck surgeries, really bad knees. It's not a fun trip for me anymore.
Right. If you were to coach Yael Romero, what advice would you give?
Start training your right side. Because he's left so powerful. Look what he's doing with what he's doing now with the skills that he has. This guy's a freak. Look how old he is. He looks like a god. He's a freaking animal. On the side now had a problem, right? Because he got hit in the beginning and he go, ooh, I got to watch out because if that lands one more time a little lower on the jaw, I could get knocked out by a guy like this. Dude, he puts fear in the hearts of everybody. I love the guy, but it's a southpaw. Everything's left. Imagine this guy coming back 6 months later and he focused only on his right side. And nobody knows, That's what I said in the beginning with McGregor. When McGregor was facing Aldo, they knew that it was going to come. They knew it at least 6 months before. If I would have been a trainer from Aldo, I would have switched it to southpaw immediately. Because now, in an open stance, you can, inside low kicks and the way McGregor stands, you can't nail it. Because McGregor, what he does, he's squatting very low. And he's actually southpaw. So he stands like this. So if somebody's in front of me, right, and he gives inside low kicks, well, there's a high chance that he's going to first of all hit the knee or hit the bill, so that he doesn't give him a target. But this is still a target. So, and he stands so wide, it's going to be very hard for him to block low kicks or to check low kicks. You can't if you stand this wide. How are you going to do that? You see, you lift your leg, you get kicked on the calf. It's very bad. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy because freaking McGregor's got great distance. You don't stay outside the distance. But as a powerful striker as Jose Aldo is, if he starts attacking the leg with left low kicks, slowing down the movement from, I think that will be a very good game plan. Have to watch out though, because the most used counter is off a kick. Because if you kick, most of the time, your defense is down. Single kicks, how many times you we say no single kicks? Because with us, you throw a single kick without one of our students, maybe the first time, if they're not ready, second time we'll catch you. Because that's the only thing we're doing, fighting and training on that. Not the only thing, but a lot. Ooh.
Speaking of students in training here, how do you take your style to sparring when you can't go hard?
You'll be amazed how hard we go. If you see me like with Amir Perez, my buddy, yeah, we'll go. People on the outside say, you guys crazy. But we go hard to the body, go hard to the legs, the face we watch out. We have both great technique and have with other great sparring partners as well. So if I see I can kick him in the head and I realize his defense is not there, I will pull it up. I can redirect it. That of course I would never do. But I will drop you on your body. And every student will go for it. I challenge them to do it to me and with the low kicks as well. So people who are watching, they go pretty hard. And now the fun part comes. How many times a week we spar? What do you think? Because everybody says once, right? 10 times. Every workout. Every single workout we wrap up and spar. You know why? Because that's what you got to do. I don't get it when people spar 85% on Fridays. And I started laughing. Somebody said, there was a world champion saying that. And everybody's looking, what are you laughing? I said, are you serious, dude? I said, we'll go pretty much 100% every day. 2 times a day, that's what we do. 10 times a week. I mean, that's what you're going to do. Just watch out for that.
Answering the question about grappling. We're going to teach grappling, but don't do much grappling. Bas has no cartilage on his knees, so it's really painful.
That's the thing, yeah.
And he doesn't have a partner big enough. if his knees were good.
Everyone's going to go, yeah, he's doing it on a lady.
I know, that looks effective.
That's what, when I do certain things, I always pick the biggest guy in the seminar. If I have to say, this is very powerful. You can move some people with the neck wrestling we're doing. I always look at a guy, boom, that guy. I didn't do it with Sash because he's on here as well, but from Germany, but he's a big guy. But normally I pick a big guy like that, and then I throw him around like a ragdoll using technique to show everybody that with technique you can still, throw somebody who outweighs you with 68 pounds at least.
A couple questions. Why did the IFL not get bigger? And what were your coaching goals with Anacondas in the IFL?
Well, the coaching goals were gone. I passed that torch on to Sean Tompkins at the time because they wanted me to be the face of the IFL. So I then became the commentator and I started doing all that. So the reason was that they had it's a 15-15. What is that show? Is that 50 minutes or something? There was a show 2020.
Yes, 2020. Yeah.
So, and I think I answered this last time also. I had 380,000 shares because we made a really good deal because our manager represented everybody, also Red Couture and Ken Shamrock and all, and I was there, so we had a really great deal. So think about this: 385,000, I think, shares I had. They were worth 30 cents. After that show aired, they shot up to $12 the next day.
Oh wow!
And we go we're a millionaire. This is crazy. No, but you weren't allowed to sell them for a half a year, right? That's how stocks work. Mm-hmm. So, but I had them, and unfortunately, the company, they just saw all that money, and they go, oh, now we can go to a bigger office, to a bigger this, bigger that, get more people, and they broke the winning combination. That's why I tell everybody for the last 22, and so many years as I'm fighting, whatever you do, don't break the winning combination. If you start with a certain group and you're successful with that group, don't throw somebody out to cut corners or money because you will start losing. That's just how the universe works. I 100% believe that. You've been brought together for a reason. So that's it. stay together.
Yes, very true. I think we're at 11. Okay, we're at 11. Let's do a couple more. Any thoughts on, Craig wants to know, strengthening the ankles for better stability in fighting?
No, I just do those jumps that I said, the balls of my foot, that's kind of ankle, but more calf.
Okay.
So stretch the legs and then only use it. This is hard because if I see people do it, they will still bend their legs. Right. If I say stretch legs and only do this, I still see people doing with the knees this. Mm-hmm. But I say lock your knees and only explode up. Yeah, I can't do it too much. It really kills my knees, my kneecaps. This is actually, that's a long story. I'm not going to do that because otherwise it's going to be very confusing.
But yeah, that would, from a trainer perspective, I can see how that would strengthen your ankles too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Really good for you.
Couple things on travel, and then maybe we'll wrap up with this one. What's your favorite holiday destination? Let's start with that one.
I think Hawaii right now. We always had a really good time when we were there with the family. Okay. I would love to go to Ireland. Mm-hmm. Scotland, like the green. I love that. I'm very attracted to that. So that's probably my next destination where I would love to go.
Mm-hmm. What foreign culture had the biggest impression on you?
Japan a lot. Mm-hmm. And as I was also brainwashed a little bit by things what people say, like I went to Turkey. And I thought the people would be really mean and, didn't like Americans and all that stuff. That's what I just watched because you hear everybody saying that. Mm-hmm. And they were the nicest people ever. And with the example that I always used, I was there 3 or 4 days, and this happened twice. And I'm literally just walking over and I'm looking at my whatever I had for the address. And I just did this. And then somebody would come and they asked me where I needed to go, and they brought me to that place.
Oh, wow.
That happened once, and then the next day, with a total different person, I'm just standing still, I'm looking, boom. And they weren't looking for money, they weren't looking for anything. Wow. And I didn't want to take money. I offered them. And I thought, wow, that was cool. So that was a big eye-opener for me. From now on, I always say, I want to see it with my own eyes. Oh, that bad guy's an asshole? Let me see that for my own eyes first. Always listen to both sides. Know that you know both. Don't listen to one thing. That's a big one.
All right, I think let's go with that. You've been to Germany before, right?
Yeah, I've been a whole bunch of times. I mean, we go to the Autobahn there because I lived at the border pretty much of Germany. So we go Sunday morning with our cars. You can go as fast as you want there. So 300 kilometers an hour. That was the fastest. 185 miles an hour. I did that twice. That's cool. Yeah, it's a different. It almost like it starts stroboscoping. It's really weird. Something happens. It's a different. Yeah, but make sure you do it in a good car.
Right. Yeah. What were you in?
The first was an M5, but the tuned up one. That was actually in Holland. And I passed the cops.
Oh.
Yeah. But we passed them at like 100 miles an hour. More.
No,
120. And I'm looking at my buddy who was the owner of the car who was sitting shotgun. And I go, what do we do? And he goes, just keep going. Because the good thing in Holland is they don't, like in America, they don't have the choppers and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So you outdrive the police, you can outdrive them. Now, get wrong, we talked about this also in the early days in Holland, 911 Porsches, turbos. That was what the highway patrol had.
No way.
Oh yeah, everybody wanted to be a highway patrol officer just because of that reason. And the Beamer motorcycles. Yeah, very hard to shake those guys.
Oh wow.
So, and what was the other one?
That's crazy. Just about holiday stuff, and then we just went off on the speeding. The fastest you went.
Fast, yeah. So watch out with that. And the other one was on the Autobahn. That was a Mercedes. That was it.
The car. Yeah, that was mine.
So, all right, ladies and gents.
Cool. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining in.
Tomorrow, you know what's going to go down tomorrow.
Recovery
with Dana.
Recovery activity.
Okay. Godspeed.
You guys then.
Bye.